I'm not gonna BS yourself. This board is not for everybody. Like if you're super tight with budget, perhaps you should look somewhere else. But I would still watch this video because I've got a few points that, in my opinion, it's worth listen to, right? Because I made a good amount of mistakes during my pump foil gear journey, let's call it, and why should you make them if you can avoid them just by listening to this video, right? So first of all, let me just quickly explain my story, right? Because I started off with a Crazy Fly board, 110 centimeter. It was a kite board. Honestly, like 2 years ago, there weren't too many choices in the market. Like it's not like now where every single brand is producing pump boards or kite boards or kite foil boards, whatnot. And now you have a lot of choice. You have a lot of materials, you have a lot of shapes, and the prices also went down. But 2.5 years ago, believe me, it was not like this. So I just bought what I found, and I found this board on internet. It was like 550, so pretty solid amount for the board that I got actually. And I was pretty happy when I got it. It was like 3 kg, and I was like, oh, it's super light. No, it's not. But anyways, I started off with that board and the wrong foil, but I quickly realized that that board was bending. Like in kite foiling, perhaps it's not an issue. Also, maybe it's actually better if you have a little bit of flex. I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not into kite foiling yet. But it was bending, and every time I was jumping on the board, I was feeling that it was kind of unstable. I didn't realize it right away, but then by having a look at the recordings, I just noticed that it was like it was very noticeable actually that the board was bending. So I decided to change it. Again, it took me a while to find another board, but from Italy, I found on a second-hand French website an APS board. It was a North Scoop 120. I knew that it was a bit too big, a bit too long, but I couldn't find anything else at a fair price. And I paid for that 280 plus shipping first, if I'm not mistaken. So we're already 550. Okay, I sold it for about 350, something like that, I think, on a second-hand website. But anyway, and then I bought this one for 280. Let's call it 300, right? And it was fine. Again, it was a bit big, a bit clumsy, but to learn with it was fine. The only problem with such big boards is that first of all, it's kind of hard to transport, and I was traveling around all the time, and it's not comfortable to have such a massive board. And then, fortunately enough, it was not my case, but I've seen so many APS boards breaking. Because listen, pump foiling is the most stressful sport that you can do with a foil, not only for the board, but also for the foil itself. Especially if you're drop starting. Now, again, probably my board didn't break because I wasn't drop starting, but I've seen countless slingshots just broken in half because of drop starts. Not even from like super heavy riders. Anyways, I got that board and after this trip to Zurich, I realized, thanks to a little chat with Yvonne, that board was absolutely too big. And when I switched to the Gone Clubber, it was way better because a smaller board, lighter board, I felt more connected with the foil, I could turn better, and I could better control the foil. When I switched to this one, I understood other things. Because yes, I was comfortable with that 80 centimeter board because I was kind of experienced. I didn't have problems placing my feet in the right spot, and I wasn't really riding waves. But when I started riding waves, I actually needed those 5 cm more in front of my board, especially if you have a wing with a lot of lift. Because here's the thing, I didn't have problems with the clubber with Axis 1310 because it's kind of like a more evenly spread foil, let's call it. But with the Cyrus and other foils with a ton of lift, it was a bit short because you have to put a bit more weight in front. So you have to either move your front foot further forward, either you need a longer board, right? I mean, either adjust your technique. Anyways, when I tried this one, first of all, like the weight is absolutely insane. It's like the amount of rice I used to eat in 3 days. But anyways, beside that, a few things that I love. First of all, the pad. because this is absolutely crazy. Like, you've never seen anything like that, I'm pretty sure. But I was super skeptical at the beginning. I was like, yeah, no chance that I can grip on a board without a pad. What was that? And instead, I was absolutely surprised because it's just the right amount of grip that you need. Now, if you don't like this, I would recommend you to try it if you have the chance to. But if you don't like this, they can make a pad. They can make another kind of like grainy, sandy, I don't know, painting. So they're doing basically whatever the hell you want. But my point is that if you are barefoot, believe me, you don't need anything else than this. And this is like the lightest thing that you can get. And anyways, if ever, like for any weird reason, you decide to wear shoes or stuff, maybe it's cold or I don't know, but you could always stick something on this pad and it's gonna be fine. Now, I'm gonna mention a thing because Yvonne is riding this exact same board. It's not a secret. I mean, it's kind of a secret, but I cannot lie. He cannot say it on his channel, but I can say it on my channel because Axis cannot remove my video. But he's riding this board, this exact same board, and there is a reason. And I also believe that he's never gonna change that. Maybe Axis is gonna come out with other boards. Maybe, I think that they came out with another board, but he's not gonna change it, in my opinion. Because why would him? If he has the best board, the lightest and stiffest board in the market, right? Anyways, someone might argue that it's too thin, but why would you need a thicker board? Like, honestly, let's call it your beach starting. It's just easier to have a lighter board, thinner board to hold. So the only reason, really the only reason why this board is not super comfortable, but you have to make choices, of course, is to zoom back on it. Yes, you can zoom back on it, but if it's choppy, if it's wavy, it's not gonna be super comfortable, right? That's why I actually found a workaround to this problem, which is a waist leash. So every time I know that I'm going far out, I'm keeping with me a waist leash on my waist and the coil, the little rope on my pocket. And if for any reason I fall, and I have to swim back, then I just deploy my rope and I attach it to the board using these holes, which are essentially the rails of the board. Can you see me? Yes, you can see me. And I just attach it here, and I just let the board float, drag behind me, and I just swim back, which in my opinion is way more comfortable than just swimming on a board. And you're also practicing open water swimming, which is always a good thing, right? I think. Anyways, what else to talk about? Oh yeah, the shape of the deck. Another thing that you might want when it comes to wave riding and in general like freestyling and having a better control is a little bit of a concave deck. Now, the first board I had didn't have a concave deck, the Crazy Fly, chill. The North had a little bit of a concave deck, and the clubber was absolutely flat. And again, if you're really just pumping in flat water, yes, maybe you don't necessarily need it, but as soon as you want to get into freestyling, as soon as you want to get into wave riding, and believe me, you are gonna get there pretty soon actually. My phone is ringing, but I don't really care about that. Well, you will want a little bit of a concave deck because you need that extra control that only a concave deck can give you, right? Just like you need a little bit of room in front to increase your stance, because when you increase your stance, you have way better control, right? If you have a look at Yvonne Sepsoji, which is the guy who's always in Yvonne's video and who, by the way, is riding this same board. But if you have a look at their videos, you will see that if they're pumping like in flat water, yes, maybe their stance is gonna be like this, pretty much shoulder width apart. But then if they wanna get they're downwinding or something, then their foot placement was gonna be more like this. And in that case, yes, probably an 80 centimeter board is a bit small. In terms of painting, you can get it in everything. Like it's like fully customizable. So that's pretty cool as well. So just to make a recap, I spent in my life 550, 300, and then 400 something for the clubber. So we are about like, I'm so bad at math, but 400 plus 300 is 700, plus 500 is 1,250. Pretty much 1,250 euros in board. While if I would have bought this board right away, then it would probably have been better, right? Because I'm not sure how much is this right now, probably something like, I don't know, 800, 8 something, I don't know. You can check the link in the description and you will find the price. But I mean, there is a reason if Yvonne and other top riders are riding this board. There is a reason why this board is so light and stiff, because Ketos is working with carbon fiber since like many years ago, before foils were even a thing. So yeah, they know what they're doing. I love this board. I'm pretty sure that I'm never gonna change it. Maybe I'm gonna get into surf foiling or prawn surf foiling or downwinding and something, and I will get for sure another board. But I don't really see a reason why I would switch to another board right now. And another point could be, isn't it too small, too stiff, whatnot, to start with? Well, listen, there are two things that, in my opinion, you can get once and keep forever. And those things are the board and the mast. Don't even think about you're not gonna like the sport, because like 99% of people who are getting into the sport are like, I'm gonna get something cheap because I'm not sure whether I'm gonna like it or not, and then I'm gonna change it later on. Listen, I did exactly that, and I wasted time and money. So, in my opinion, just get something decent, because there is absolutely no way that you're not gonna like it, and there is absolutely no way that you're not gonna get it, because if you follow the step-by-step process, if you have the right gear, if you follow my channel, if you download the free pamphlet guide, which is in the description, there is no way that you're not gonna get it, 100%. And if you're not gonna get it, you can reach out to me on Instagram, or we can arrange a session, whatever, and I can help you out with that. But there is no way that you're not gonna get it. So just invest in good material right away, so that you're not wasting time and you're not wasting money down the line, right? I mean, it's logical. So yeah, I wouldn't really save money again on a board, and I wouldn't really save money on a mast, because those things can really stay with you forever, right? Really, it's not like super limiting. If you make mistakes with the feet placement, nothing is going to happen, right? As long as you're not doing stupid things like pumping in super shallow water, jumping on the board in shallow water. There are adjustments that you should make if you want to play it safe, because one might tell, yes, but with such a small board, and if I'm not experienced, I might place my foot outside the board and follow on the foil. Well, yes, but not if you use the right step-by-step process. I explained probably, like 1,000 times that you cannot go in the water if you don't practice on land first, because it's the best way to injure yourself and to waste time. So practice on land first, so that you have a sharp feet placement when you get in the water and you need to learn other things, right? So again, I mean, in my opinion, safety is not an issue neither. Now, this is my board. This is my Ketos Dog Start 90 centimeter. Not sure I mentioned it's handcrafted in France. For me, it's pretty important as well, because I'm kind of like a bit hippie, let's call it. I like when something is sustainable, let's say, and also the fact that this thing is durable. Like the durability that you get from a board which is handcrafted, you'll never get from another board. I've seen, again, countless of APS boards broken in half. I've seen carbon boards from other brands broken. I've never seen this board broken. Maybe I'm not lucky, but yeah, this is what it is. And I've seen people who are riding this same board for probably 5, 6, 7 years. That's what I mean with good investment. Like the reason why I'm spending money on cameras, I'm buying an iPhone, is because I know that I buy it once and I can use it for 2, 3, 4, 5 years, right? The same is for my foil, you know. I'm not super gentle when handling gear, but I always try to keep things as much as possible, because I don't want to make waste, and I don't want to I just want to have the right things, right? And if something can make your life easier, I believe it's worth spending something more. Anyway, that's that. I hope this video helps. There is the first link in the description is to check this board out on the on Ketos website. Yes, I'm earning small commissions if you use the code KetosGael24 at checkout. But if not, don't worry about it. It's completely fine. I just want you to get a cool board. So if you don't want to use it, it's completely fine for me. Just get yourself a nice board so that you're not struggling to go your journey. So yeah, that's that. I hope this helps. I hope that you can get a nice board, and I hope that you can pump and do whatever you want on the board. Right? Ciao, ciao.